Hello and welcome to another GT Sport video. Today we will be driving Daily Race B, which is a Group 3 race on the Brands Hatch circuit. Following the same direction as we went in the last couple of races, we selected the Gazoo Racing Supra Racing concept car, which is not really the fastest car around this circuit, but is a car I am quite familiar with. So this is the reason why I chose this car. And let's just go straight into the first race. In pole position you will see an Irishman, which we will get to know later in one of the other races. So in the first race we start in position 6, and through the first corner we are approaching P5, but nothing's really happening at this moment. But here we get a little bit shoved to the side by the Swiss driver in the Audi R8, and for a second he takes his position, but we are on the inside of the third corner, so we can manage to take the position back. So now we're in P6 and nothing is really happening in the first lap anymore. So let's go on until the end of the lap. Here we get almost pushed out of the race by the Swiss driver with the R8 again, but we managed to keep it on track, and he does get a 1 second penalty for it. I'm not really sure whether it was deliberate, but penalty is a penalty. I wasn't really concentrated going into the second lap because we kind of screwed up our line there, which resulted in the Swiss driver to overtake us. So now we're in P7. So let's go forward a little bit. In order to take back our P6, we need to stay at least within 1 second of the Swiss driver. But in this corner he shoves a British driver wide and goes off himself, which basically gives us 2 positions for free. So now we're in position 5, and our goal is to catch up to the group in front, who are mixed in a battle for P2. And this we managed in lap 3. But here we see the German driver pushing the British driver off to the side in a classical battle between Germany and the United Kingdom. And from there on nothing really happens until the last lap. As you see, the German driver picked up half second penalty, but that's not even the reason we overtake him, because here at Hawthorne he goes off. And luckily he doesn't drive into us coming onto the track again. So we're on to P3, and that's actually the end of the race. So first race, we drove from P6 to P3, which is already a promising start. I'm wondering if we can do a little bit better in these other races. So let's not wait too long and just go straight into the next race. The next race we're a bit unfortunate in our qualifying times, as we are starting in P11 out of 16. So this is quite some positions back from previous race. But let's not wait for too long and start the race. So in this race I really concentrated on getting the line right on the first corner, which we do, and which actually allows us to already take 1 position in the first corner. So we're already in P10. We're actually leaving the McLaren quite behind, and nothing really happens from then on until we go a little bit further. Right here. Here we are catching up to the group in front. But the British driver making himself really wide in the R8. Here we get a yellow flag from a driver who just parked his car sideways across the road. So now we're in P9. And I'm getting the feeling that the German driver in the Beetle is actually the one holding us up. Here he slows down really hard. So I actually push the two drivers. And again, a little bit of a gap goes in between us. Now the British driver in the R8 has passed the German driver, and seeing as he's already going in front, it's indeed the driver in the Beetle that's holding us up. But as I get the better exit in that corner, I get the opportunity to overtake the driver in the Beetle. On the inside, here we are next to each other. He almost goes off, but I leave him the space. We're not quite there yet, but here he pushes us a little bit actually, and there he creates the gap. And we managed to hold on to our P8 until the end of the race, where another driver right at the last corner went off actually, and we get another position for free. And this is the end of the second race. This race we drove P11 to P7, not really that great, but we did manage to gain a couple of positions. So let's hope we can do better still in the next race. Okay, third race of the day. For the qualifying position of this race, we managed to capture P7. Not as bad as the last race, but not really where we would like to be. So let's see whether we can make up some positions during the race. Maybe go for that podium again. Here we are, starting the race once more. Making sure we have that good line in the first corner again. And we actually do, which allows us already to take P6, but the British driver defends very well. We managed to creep up on the inside and take P6 indefinitely. Behind us there's some fighting going on, which raises the gap. So nothing really happens for the rest of the lap anymore, until we get here, where we see the British driver in front screwing up there and going right off into the sand. So we get a free ticket to P5. Then we go on to lap 3, where we are in a battle with the Italian driver for 4th position, and going into the hairpin we see that the Irish driver screwed up at some point, and now it's a battle for 3rd. So now there's some close racing going on. We try to catch a good line to get past them, but the Italian in the Peugeot is blocking us off quite well. Going through Hawthorne, and then the Italian and Irish driver get really intimate, and we manage to squeeze ourselves through. So now we're in P3. However, the Irish driver is still really close on our tail, and we will have to defend into lap 4. So here we go into the first corner and this happens. Let me show you again. So we get shoved a little bit wide. We lose control of the back end just a little bit, and then we go off into the grass. So instead of fighting for P3, we are now fighting for P7. But fortunately we are faster than the driver behind us, so they don't really manage to catch up. So we come straight on to the last lap, and we were still able to hold on to P7, but then this happens. So we spin around and we lose 2 positions. We go into the track, we take the inside line to prevent us from losing anything more. And then another driver who was about to overtake us just slides past us. So fortunately we don't lose another position. So in the end we finish in P9. It's kind of a bummer that we finish in P9 instead of P3, which we were fighting for because of another incident with an Irish driver. But there you go, that's Gran Turismo. And despite the results of this last race, I really enjoyed these last couple of races, and I hope to see much more of these in the future. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully see you in the next video.